Remember that when an assignment in your book has the word assignment, you can get hints on that assignment using livehint.com. When you go to livehint.com, remember that you have to use the first page number of the assignment to get hints. So the page number you should use for this assignment if you want to get hints is 143. All right, so let's start. So what you're going to do first is you're going to look at this data table. This data table has high school dropout rates in percent for the years 2005 through 2017. So the first thing that you're asked to do is to create a scatter plot of the high school dropout data. So the data is here, and then you're asked to create a scatter plot. And what that means is you go down here to this coordinate plane and you create a scatter plot. So, for example, 2005, the rate is 3.8%, and that was also the rate in 2006. So let's do those 2 years at the same time. So for the first 2 years, we're looking for 3.8%. So go down here and be using your pencil tool. And for 2005, we're looking for 3.8. So I know it's somewhere between here and here. 3.5, and then this next line is 3.75, and this is 4.0. So our dot, our point, needs to be somewhere around here. Now I know that this is very tiny, so I'm not expecting this graph to be perfect, but do the best you can. And again, 2006 is the same, so we're going up to about 3.8 and making a point there too. So you continue that on. I just did 2005 and 2006 for these percentage rates. You're going to go ahead and do the rest of the years and the rest of the rates on your own. All right, so that's the first part of A. The next thing you're asked is what information can you gather about the dropout rates from the scatter plot? So here in this box, you're going to write in words what you can figure out or what you notice or what you know based on looking at the scatter plot. So here's a sentence starter. From the scatter plot, I know that blank. And you fill in whatever you know when you look at the scatter plot. There's more than one right answer. Then for B, you're going to see this data using graphing technology. So if you copy this link, so copy this link that's given to you, and then you can paste it in your browser. So when you graph that using technology, when you look at the graph at that link, you'll see that for the years, we use the years 0 through 12. And so the heading for this column could be years since 2005. So in 2000, remember 2005 was the first year on our table. So year 0 is 2005. Year 1 is 2006 because it's 1 year after 2005. Year 2 is 2007 because it's 2 years after 2005. So we have all of our years, starting with 2005, going all the way up through the whole data table, and then we have those same percentage rates. And then what I did to create this regression line is I just typed y sub 1 and then a tilde symbol, and then mx sub 1 plus b. And then I was able to see my y-intercept, which is the b, and I was able to see this line slope, which is the m in our equation. So now that you can see the data in a graphed using technology, let's go back to the questions. So the first question is it says generate a line of best fit. So here, what you're going to do is you're going to type y equals mx plus b, but then you're going to replace this m from the m in the graph that we made, and you're going to replace the b with the y-intercept. So you're going to replace the slope with the slope number, and you're going to replace the y-intercept with the y-intercept number. And just to refresh your memory, where those are is right here. Your slope, your y-intercept. And you should be able to copy and paste from here to make it easy on yourself. So now let's go back. So once you have your equation here, you're going to need that equation later. So you'll be referring back to this equation over and over. So then what you'll do next is you interpret what that y-intercept and what the slope mean. What the y-intercept of our line of regression means, this is our line of regression. What the y-intercept means is when it's year 0, when it's 2005, because this is the y-axis. So the point that our line crosses through the y-axis is this point right here. Let me go up so it's 0. So at year 0, which is 2005, our line predicts that the dropout rate will be 3.213. We know the actual value was 3.8, but our prediction that our line makes is 3.213. So that's what the y-intercept means. It's our prediction of what happens when the x is equal to 0. So that's our prediction. When x equals 0, this is our predicted percentage, or our predicted y value. Similarly, explain what the slope of our line means. So if you go back to the graph, the slope of our line is 0.132 approximately. So what that slope means, let's just round it to 0.1 for the sake of this conversation, or 1/10. What that means is each time we go forward 1 year, so between year 0 and year 1, between year 1 and year 2, between year 2 and year 3, year 0 and year 1 is right here, year 1 and year 2, year 2 and year 3, we expect an increase, because our slope is going up, we expect an increase each year of 1/10 of 1%. 0.1 is 1/10 of 1%. So that's our interpretation of slope. Now here, this is 10 points of the assignment, so don't forget, before you turn the page here, make sure to plot your points, because that's 10 points right there. Easy points to pick. And then let's look at the next page. For D, on the second page of this assignment, you are calculating the predicted dropout rate for 2010. So we know the data table dropout rate because we're given the table, but we want to know what the predicted rate is for 2010. So remember that 2005, we were calling that year 0. So 2006 is year 1. 2007 is year 2. 2008 is year 3. 2009 is year 4. And 2010 is year 5. That's why you're substituting 5 in for x in your equation when you're doing this calculation. So to get the calculation that you're going to put here, you're going to go to a calculator, and in place of the x, you're going to put a 5 instead. And remember, the parentheses mean multiply, so you could also put a multiplication symbol there. I just like the parentheses because it makes it more clear. It's easier to see the parentheses than it is to see the multiplication symbol, because this is very tiny. It's hard to see. Anyway, once you do that calculation, you'll see your output will show up on your calculator. So that's what goes there in this box. And then you're going to look at your amount here and look at the table and see what 2010's percentage was in the table, and you're going to choose one of these options. Are the two numbers the same? Was the prediction that you made here higher than the table 2010 value, or was the prediction you made here lower than the 2010 rate shown in the table? So choose one of the options. All right, so then the next thing that we're doing on this assignment is completely different. So let's do that in a different video.